guys, Alicia here, thenewBcrafter. Today I'm going to be showing you how to create this tiered necklace right here. You can do as many tiers as you wish and use whatever kinds of beads that you wish. So the supplies that you will need are an assortment of chains, which I just have in a little basket off to the side. You are going to need a clasp, if that's kind of optional depending on the size of neck that you choose to make it, some O-rings, jump rings, and Swarovski crystals. I hope that I'm not forgetting anything, but let's get down and I will show you how to make this necklace. Alright, so for the first step of making this beautiful tiered necklace, we are going to need to use our Swarovskis or a bead of your choice and our eye pins. So I am using the 0.75 inch eye pin, and we're going to need that and our Swarovski beads. Alright, so what you want to do is you want to take your eye pin and thread your bead onto the eye pin. So with the size that I'm using of Swarovski and eye pin, I can only get one of the 8mm Swarovskis on. And then I'm going to take my round nose pliers and I am going to round the edge of it so that I have the round that was already there from when I got it, and then I've created one on the other side. So now I'm going to do this to a whole lot of them, and then I'm going to show you how to turn this into a chain. So I have taken, for my 8mm Swarovskis, I did 40 of them. So I did 40 of this rainbow one, and then I did 40 of the gold one. And then for my 4mm bicone Swarovskis, I did 2 of them on one of the pieces of wire, and I did 20 of those. So now the next step that you need to do to all of these is I like to take 2 pairs of these kind of flat nose pliers, I think they're called, and I grab one side of it and I grab the other side, so I'm grabbing both of those loops, and then I just like to make sure that the pliers are then flat so that they're not twisted at all. So you just grab one side and the other side and make sure that the pliers are kind of parallel to each other so that they're not twisted, and then you do that to every single one of these that you have done. Alright, so now I have done that to all of my beads, and I have now laid out the pattern that I want to do for one of my chains, because we're going to be doing 3 separate patterns for this design, or for this style of necklace. You can do them all the same if you want, but I want to do 3 different ones. So I've laid out my pattern, and you are going to need some jump rings. I like to use the jump rings because it makes your final look a little bit more dangly, and I love things to dangle and sparkle. 2 of my favorite things. So we're just going to use a bunch of jump rings to attach them, and I like to use a pair of chain nose and a pair of needle nose pliers. You can use whatever kind you want. I have tried it using the flat nose pliers that we were previously using, but I find them harder to get in and close it tightly. So that's why I like to use chain nose or needle nose, or both if I cannot find the matching pair. Okay. So you're going to want to take a jump ring and open up your jump ring. Remember you want to take your jump ring, I'll show you again, and don't take it like this and pull it apart. Do not do that, okay? You don't want to take it like this and pull it apart. You want to hold it like this and twist. And then it opens up differently, and you do not damage your jump ring, and it'll be stronger, not break as easily when you wear your necklace. So you're going to want to take that. I like to hold it with one of my pairs of pliers, and then thread on one of my, well, 2 of my beads that I want to put on to create this color of chain, and then I close it. like so. And then I grab the color that I want to attach to and the jump ring. I already have this one open. I hook that on, and then I hook on the next one to my pattern. And I'm going to do this all the way along for this one. You're going to want these to be about a foot for the first one, and then probably about 1.5 feet for your longer ones. And you'll see how that falls into place when I go to put this necklace together. So do this until you run out of all of your beads. Alright, so as I said, it is helpful to have another person to help you, kind of as the mannequin, I guess. She's much more beautiful than a mannequin. Aww. But if you do not have another person and you have one of those mannequin things that you use for sewing, that would be perfect for this step. You can also do it yourself, but it's just going to be really, really awkward and really, really hard. So you want to start out by cutting off a piece of chain. And I have already pre-cut this one, so it's going from basically the end of her neck, because her neck ends right about here, and it's going from about both sides of the end of her neck. And I am going to take my first piece of wire that I want to, my first homemade chain that I want to put on. Now you can immediately attach this with the jump ring, the chain, and the chain that we're attaching, but just so that I can show you a little bit later how to do that, and it's easier for me while I'm filming, I'm just going to take this piece of wire without poking her and put both of them on and twist it. And then I'll have these later, the lengths of them ready. I have that one on there. I'm going to bring this around and decide what length I want it. So you can make this one really short if you want yours to be quite short, and add a clasp so that you can remove it and put it on, or you can make it a bit longer so that you don't have to worry about the clasp and it just goes right over your head. So why don't you try that now and see if that's going to go over your head. So I'm going to do my first tier just like that. I'm going to grab that other piece of wire, attach the two. Since we have a little bit of extra chain, I'm just going to cut that off, or I'm just going to actually use my pliers and cut it so that she doesn't get any wire going down her shirt, because that would hurt. So now I'm going to grab my next layer, which is going to be this chain here. So I'm using two different types of chain, but when you choose your chain, you want to make sure that the chains are roughly the same tint, or it looks kind of bad. Because if I were to, because these ones look okay together, but if I was to take this chain right here, this is more of a yellow gold and this is more of a, I don't know what gold, it would not look quite right and make it look more cheap. So you want to try and choose gold chains that look the same tint. So I'm going to twist this one on right here, do the same thing on the other side, and get it to be the right one. So this is a tiered necklace, so we do want this to tier. So you want to make sure it's about 1 inch to 2 inches difference right at the bottom. And these are just beautiful Swarovskis. So I'm going to hook on that end. Okay, and just make sure that this is still centered on the neck, or her neck, not the neck. And making sure that that's twisted the right way, pulling it around, and alright, so now to continue for this, you are just going to need your jump rings and pliers. And I'm going to just remove my clips there, and now I'm going to untwist all of my wire. I am going to do the exact same process to the other side. Alright, so now I'm going to line up my chains from smallest to largest, just parallel like this. So now that I have done that, you can see that it's kind of like a triangle if I were to continue going, but it's just on an angle. So on this one side, I'm going to open up a jump ring. Now, just for mine, if you have it, go ahead and use it. I'm just going to use larger jump rings than I was using before. Makes it a bit easier. And I'm going to open up my jump ring, and I am going to loop on all of the ends. So I'm going to take this end right here, hook it on, go up to the next one, hook it on, next one, hook it on, next one, hook it on, and a last one. And then I am just going to close that with my pliers. Well, these are still in order. I know that you guys can't quite see it, but I'll move it over. I'm just going to hook them all on to the exact same size of jump ring. Alright, so now I'm just going to lift it up with the top chain, and you have that right there. So you can add a clasp on the one side, so attach those, but don't worry about attaching the top one. Attach the top one to a separate jump ring and add a lobster claw clasp there and attach the jump ring to it. This is the easiest way that I've found to do this. I've done a couple of these. I'm just not sure where the other ones are right now. Now, while this is in your jewelry box for storage, you don't really want to crumple this up because it's really hard to get these tiers mess sorted out. So I have a jewelry cabinet where I can just hang all of my stuff, so you might want to do that, or hang it on a door handle or something, just to avoid it getting damaged from all of your hard work. So now right now I have mine on. I know it's a little bit harder to see, but it's very sparkly and it looks very nice. It blends in my shirt a little, so I'm going to show you the other one. So just to remove it, I do have a lobster claw clasp on mine, or I did at a point of time, but I just take it and pull it off of my head like that. Depending on the person that's wearing, depends on the way that the tiers are going to look. But it looks really beautiful in anyone. I hope that you try this out, and I hope that this video inspired you and helped you out in some of your newer bead creations. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe, and I'll see you next time.